Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Hey, I really apologize for yesterday. My internet, and it's something with me on my side. I'm not convinced that they have fixed it, not by any stretch of the imagination. So today will be a little sketchy, perhaps. I did break out the back laptop last night, so if I go down, I'll just pull up the laptop and get on that way. Use my phone as a hotspot. Gotta love technology these days. You really do. Okay, so if somebody would like to know, good morning, Julie, Ron, Wayne. How you guys all doing? I hope well. Hope well. Hey, Jason. How's it going, John? Very good. Thomas, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so if you are interested in what a evening star is, you were bombarded yesterday at yesterday's close, or maybe throughout the day you could see it coming. Here's a spy, an evening star when we reach what could be a top, short term or longer term. Sellers pop up. I'm sorry, buyers pop up. They pop up a little bit more, but they can't get going, and they just kind of hover right there. That would be day before yesterday. One looks at this and thinks, hey, everything's just fine. The bulls are still here. And then the next day, what happens is we put the selling candle in that opens up. It could be slightly above this candle, inside this candle, even below this candle here. And then it comes back down. The big key, and what I'm going to do is move this line right here, is this bullish candle right here. So to be bullish, we do need to get back above that 330, 381.40, or basically the T line. So that's what we're going to need to see for that bullishness. If, if, only if, not when, if we get back above this high right here, then what you're going to have is a nice little, some nice little bullish activity is what you'll have. You'll have that low, that higher low, and then a higher high. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The overall trend is pushing us to the downside. I'm not feeling too much love here. I'm really not. I think now it's a race on who's going to win this 347.90 and or about the 50 period moving average up here. So, there are some folks that are just going to be bullish no matter what. There's going to be some folks that's going to be bearish no matter what. I think a very good guideline is the T line. This over the years has proved to get me in the money and get me out of hot water. Just simply follow that. Where is price? If price is down here, don't even think about being bullish. If price is up here, don't think about being bearish. I think we're in a real sloppy little area here. Markets on the kind of on that edge of what are we going to do here. So anyway, keep an eye. For those that go fishing, keep a tight line and tip up because it's going to be tricky through here. One of the major things that is coming here, and we really do have to pay attention to this, and that is, Powell speaks. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, Powell speaks. You got to watch that. The EIA Petroleum, and Thursday. Today is Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. Thursday, we've got jobless claims, personal home income, Chicago PMI. So these are going to be some important things that could jerk this market around just a little bit. So keep an eye on that. So anyway, just like I said, tight line tip up. If you're a fisherman, you get it. Okay, with that said, let's look at some charts here. SQQQ. SQQQ is another way to short the Qs, but you're going long its inverse ETF. You can see that the 50-period moving average is trending up. You can also see that the 50-period moving average has acted favorably with price, or price has acted favorably with the 50-period moving average. So here we are, price coming down to that 50, touching it, playing around, moved up yesterday. We're showing a little positive trading today. Up over the T line, that's that black line. I would look at that as being bullish. Since the 500 period moving average is right there, that's what I would look for on that first trade if I was to buy this. That's about 17% and reevaluate at this level up here. Oxy. So Oxy, if we can get above 64.20, that's what I'm looking at, above 64.20, then I think, and when I say above 64.20 successfully, challenge 64.20, prove you can hold 64.20, give us, the bulls have to step in. Then I'm looking at 67.45 up here. After that, I think we have a chance to get to 75 on this Oxy. Stop 62.15, which is basically the 50-period moving average here. TZA. If you see IWM as moving down, but maybe you don't want here, IWM, there you go. IWM is a $172 chart here. Maybe you don't want to be involved with the $172 charts. Maybe you don't want to be involved with actually shorting. That's okay. There's TZA. TZA works out really, really nice. We've got a doji bullish engulf. We're hanging out right at the top of that bullish engulf today, this morning. If we can move over the T line here, 44.83, and prove that we can hold in that area, then that looks to me like to be a buy. The next major target to the upside, I'm going to have to look at that 500 period moving average. That puts you at about 18%, and the stop area, it would be right there, right through this area, right through there, just like that. So you've got a nice, at least a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio here on TZA. SDS. Let's look at the SPY first. If we see the SPY failing these candles here, or the T line here, and the price action shows that we're coming to the downside, again, if you cannot short a $380 stock, or maybe your account does not allow you to short, well, SDS is a wonderful, wonderful instrument to do this with. You're trading long on this. Here we've got a Morningstar signal here. Today we're hanging out right at the top of yesterday's candle, right at the T-line area. If we can show positive trading above the T-line, then what I'm going to look for, again, is that from one moving average to another, that doesn't mean that we have to stop right here. It just gives and I would urge everyone to do this. Take a look at, go take a look at literally hundreds of charts, and you'll find that charts will tend to move from one, I'm going to use the word major moving average, to another major moving average, which that could be, we could have an argument on what those moving averages are. But if you'll notice that price will move from one to another, both going up and going down. Price action can flip-flop around between the two and take their time, but the moving average will give excellent targets and excellent stops, providing you buy near that moving average. So um, the T line is nothing more than a moving average. It's the 8 exponential moving average. I love it. And if we can hold up here, then that becomes my stop area. Now I might tweak that a little bit based on price action, but just by a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, not by tons. So as an example, here's today's low so far right there. So I just might move my stop right in there. And that's ever so slightly below that moving average. CVX. So CVX is interesting. I'm looking through charts this morning, and I'm looking for both longs and shorts, and I got the CVX here. So I like what CVX is doing here. We found a bottom near the 200. We came up. The 50 period moving average is right here. So there is a true possibility it wants to get up there to that 50 for about 9.5%. Well, with charts, we need, when we've been in a downtrend, like that red, when we've been in a downtrend like this, what we need is a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. Now that doesn't mean that the chart can't just march up and up and up and up and up and up and up. That's kind of rare, kind of rare. And the sideways rest, this pullback, could be somewhat, quiet. It doesn't have to be a big pullback. It could be just a slide to the right. So with that said, CVX could be in a position to rest in here and then run to that 50 period moving average. Since we don't really have a low, high, higher, low, higher, high, it also could be in a position where it comes back and tests the downside. Let's paint this red. It could also be in that position. The whole division area, is going to be about right here. The T line, right through there. So CVX, I think, is one to watch for both a short and a long, depending on how price action acts right through this area. SU. Here is SU taking on that 50 period moving average, challenging it. Let me get this out of the way, I think. Come on, Rick. Wow, we got a lot of stuff opened up. If SU can move over 37.60, then what I would look for here is some bullish activity, entry activity, if we can hold over 37.60, and we could have a nice little bullish move. Here's the flip side to that. We are definitely in position for a blue ice failure. So if it starts to, the sellers start to take over, because all we've had is a move straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. If the sellers start to take over, this could turn out to be one of those blue ice failures. So let's keep an eye on that. Oh no, I unflagged that one. Lift. You can see the trend indicator still moving down. I had that box up there when we were putting in this bottom, and we kind of popped up here. I thought there might be a chance to move up. It looks like the sellers are still kicking us to the downside. We're below the trend indicator, below the T line. If we start to crash below those lows, lift could be a very nice short. Since I had that green box up there, in all fairness, if you've got a low, you've got a high, you do have a higher low. If we start to move up and we get through this high right here, well, there's a possible trade. AMD still looks short to me. Let's get rid of all that. AMD is still looking short, and anything below that 80.35, here's that 1,000 period moving average. The closer we get to it, the more it's going to act like a magnet. So what do we have down here? That's about almost a 25% move. Of course, AMD could get its wings, it could start flying, but there is a whole goodles of resistance right up here. So it's going to have to seriously prove itself. Macy's still looking to the downside. There's the 500 period moving average. That would also get us into testing this area here. There's just nothing bullish about this chart. Here's a nice downtrend. We're below the 50, below the trend indicator, below the T line, and price can't seem to get its motor running. AMT, short. Look how this thing, we're down, we try, we're down. See how we're starting to roll over right in here. Watch this low. There's the 500 period moving average. I'm sorry, the 1,000 period moving average is right here. Of course, if it was to come back, then it might try to put a little bullish goose in there, but that downtrend is still very overwhelming. TNA. So TNA, kind of like that. Well, you're playing with the IWM or that TZA in there. Keep an eye on this. If we see weakness, I see more movement to the downside. It's really simple. You're just following price action, and you're following a line in the sand. In this case, the line is the T line. So I'm going to come over here. So if we see weakness below the T line, we're going to look at this low as a target, and that's 17, almost 18%. Well, what if we come down to this low right here? Okay, that's still going to be 13.5%. And good grief, how many do I have on here? SQ. To me, it just looks like the downtrend is continuing. It's just doing that same old thing. Nothing is changing. Nothing changes. It changes when the trend changes. We do have a low and we do have a high. We do have that. So if things were to change and price were to move up, okay, we might have something. Now, with that, I mean, we still have this downtrend. You still have the 50 period moving average, but that's a start. But that's not what we have. We don't have that. What we've got is a low, a high, and then a breakdown back below the T line. So I have to look at this and say, okay, I'm going to take those lows, come up there. That's about an 18% move. If it does flip, then we can worry about that when it happens. A BITO still looks short. Could this be a bottom? It could be, and I could win the lottery today. UPST. UPST. There we go. That still looks short. Okay, so the thing about UPST, we're going to probably have to kind of watch this. Right through here, big gap down, bad news. Everybody throws the towel in. Now we're starting to walk sideways to down, right? So what we have to be careful of is, as we approach this level, is this where some big whales were buying it? Some big buyers down into here. And they're waiting for it to get down to buy more. The big whales, they cannot buy full positions at a time. If they did, we wouldn't have this or this or this. What we would have is this. And they just end up trading against themselves. So we have to be a little bit cautious if this was the type of buying that a lot of accumulation. We have to be careful. And then it comes back down and they buy more in this level. So that kind of throws the screws to the shorts. So just kind of watch this a little careful. If you're short this, don't get caught in some sort of a big move up. Of course, if we start to fail, and by the way, look at that nice bottom there. Well, we just go lower. There's nothing down there really to give us any kind of a clue. So we are sitting at a, what I would call a major support area. If we fail, then it's not so major, I guess. If we bounce, then that is, we could call that major. Nice success there. So Watch price. Keep an eye on that. What are we doing here? Nothing so far. Okay, everyone, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I really hope I'm here all day long. I really, really do hope it. Drove me crazy yesterday. All right, you guys take care. Thank you very, very much. And think positive things about internet today, okay? Be back in a little bit.